What's going on? You were tuning into the Notion Podcast. Outlawed Opinions. Yo, we got to talk about this Snoop Dogg situation. It has people up in arms. It has people mad. You know, Snoop Dogg, I guess, has been pissing a lot of people off this year. But I'm starting to wonder if people really understand or know what they are really mad at. So without wasting any time, I want to get into this because I've been seeing articles of what Snoop said, and I wanted to see the difference between what he really said and the interpretation that's being put out there. So I found the video clip. The video clip is from a podcast show known as It's Giving Podcast. So shout out to It's Giving Podcast for the clip that is now going viral regarding Big Snoop Dogg. So let's see what Snoop Dogg said that has everybody upset. I'll go ahead and play it. Let's go ahead and drop this in here. And let's see what Big Snoop Dogg has to say. All right, let's go for it.
What you they putting it everywhere.
Yeah.
I took my grandson to see what was the movie with Buzz Light?
Toy Story?
Not that one, but
the new Buzz. The Lightyear. I think it's called Lightyear.
With Kiki Palmer's in that movie. So we watching it, and she had a baby with a woman. Well, my grandson in the middle of the movie like, Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh, shit. I didn't come in for this shit. I just came to watch the goddamn movie. Hey, man, watch the movie. They just said she had a baby. They both women's. How did she have a baby?
Okay. So far from what I see in this clip, it sounds like he was thrown off by even having to have that conversation with his grandson at the movies. It doesn't really sound too malicious or like he has anything personal against, that lifestyle or that group. It sounds like it was just one of those conversations like, oh, that threw me off. That's what I'm taking from it so far. Because like I said, there were things that were being written about Snoop as far as in him being afraid to go to the movies because of that. And that clip doesn't really sound like it's supporting what a lot of platforms were insinuating. So let's go forward some more and see.
So it's like, it fucked me. I'm scared to go to the movies now. Like, y'all throwing me in the middle of shit that I don't have an answer for. It threw me for a loop. I'm like, what part of the movie was this? These are kids that we have to show that at this age. Like,
that part.
They're going to ask questions.
Yeah.
That I do agree with. I do know that children are sponges, and the minute that they start talking and realizing they can communicate with you, they ask questions about everything. A lot of questions are why. Why do we have to do? Why do I have to do that? Why do we have to go here? Why? Which annoys a lot of parents, right? But kids always ask a lot of questions, and to be fair, parents don't always have the answers. I mean, for those of us that are adults, right, grown and have our own children and still have our parents in our life, we still ask questions as adults. People that are supposed to have it figured out, at least the kids, we still ask questions. So, I mean, that's a fair take. Like, yeah, kids ask a lot of questions, and sometimes you're not prepared in that moment for the type of question they ask. So I get that.
They are going to ask, I don't have the answer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what do you guys think? Was this interview, was it truly damaging or problematic as people made it seem? Because like I said, if you look on almost every major platform, it's actually a quote with this photo instead of the video clip. So I'm not sure why people aren't actually sharing the video clip. I've actually seen a more extended version of this, and the host actually agreed with Snoop and was like, yeah, it's very confusing. So my question is, what was harmful about what Snoop said? Because I'm still looking for it. I'm looking at this from my lens, my perspective. What was Snoop actually wrong about in that clip? And then here's the other thing. instead of bashing the dude, calling him a weed head and his albums, and people love to dig up everything that you've done in your past. And those same people that dig up everything that you've done in your past are the main people that would not want their past being dug up. Now, can sometimes your past correlate with why you're being critiqued or criticized? Maybe. That's the internet. That's life. But one of the things that I will say is that this is an opportunity for those that feel offended or those that feel like he's ignorant. The true definition of ignorant and not knowing any better, this is the opportunity to answer his questions, because he certainly threw them out there, or he certainly threw concern out there like, hey, I don't know how to go about that. How do I have this conversation? Now, I've seen some geniuses in a couple posts that were saying you could have just said that the kid was adopted or this, that, and the other. Well, the whole point is to try to be as truthful as possible when explaining things to children, because children 100% trust you until they don't. So my question to the public, to the people, how should have Snoop handled it? Now, him telling the story, that's just him telling the story. People are upset and offended by him telling this story and that exchange between him and his grandson. Now, people feeling like certain things shouldn't be put in movies, y'all can't get mad at that, because everybody has preference. There are some people that do not watch action movies for the violence. There are some people that may not watch romantic films because they're not okay with intimacy or sex on film. People have their preferences in what they watch and why they watch it. So just because people have an opinion on those preferences doesn't mean they're a terrible person. Straight up. Straight up. I mean, there's not everybody is interested in black history films or films that have something to do with the history behind black folks or an influential black person. That does not mean that person or those people are racist. It's just they don't prefer to watch that. So I don't really think Snoop was terrible about that. I know a lot of people were just bringing up all kinds of stuff. Well, here comes the coon again. The Trump supporter and everything. It's just like, y'all got to grow up with the conversation. I thought it was an interesting take because that's not talked about a lot. It's not talked about when we look at certain things that are put in movies. We look at certain things that are put on TV. And I'm not even just talking about that specific thing as far as the two moms thing. Like, I'm going to keep it real. Like, the way that sex is on regular TV right now is crazy. The amount of cuss words, including the N-word, that's able to be used on TV is wild, because me being an 80s baby and a 90s kid, so many things were bleeped out and censored, and it's less, in my opinion, and y'all can let me know what y'all think, things are less censored now. So it's not just about this particular thing being isolated, but these things that are no longer censored that once were can also draw more questions to the youth and to kids. Like, hey, why are they able to do this? Why can this be on TV, but I can't say it, and all of this other stuff. But I think the attack on Snoop is a reach. Not because I'm a diehard Snoop Dogg fan and what are you doing? It's just, it's a good conversation to have with some decorum and respect. This is an opportunity for people that understand, how things are going as far as in entertainment. This is your opportunity to educate Snoop. Hell, educate me, educate the host, educate people on how to properly have this conversation or go about it instead of attacking the dude. That's all I'm saying. He actually rose a good question. How would, for y'all that don't know, Snoop is a straight man. He has a wife, he has kids. This is an opportunity for y'all to have a conversation with heterosexual people on how to have those conversations. Don't sit up there and assume that people have a think fast and think quick response. This is an opportunity to have a real dialogue that doesn't involve disrespect or misinformation, because a lot of stuff gets put out that has a lot of misinformation. So all I'm saying is, instead of hitting Snoop with all of the, the booze, educate the dude. That's all I'm saying. I didn't see anything terrible about what Snoop said in his experience. and how he tried to handle that. I think people just find any reason to be outraged. You know, there's a lot of selective outrage these days, but I had to see for myself. Y'all let me know what you guys think in the comments here on the Notion Podcast. Until next time, we finna get up out of here. Peace.